to the final day of the Dawning Lights tournament between it's between Enigma 9 and Aqua Deers. Yeah, so my name is Ari, and I'll be your co-host today, along with Nigel. Nigel, do you want to say hello?
Hello, welcome back everyone to tonight's match.
Yes, this is the last match, and Doof will be the one will be in charge of the camera, so he'll be the cameraman. You want to say hello before we start with the draft, or before we focus on the draft?
Anyways, yeah, kicking us straight into the draft. We see that Nemesis Prime has locked down that Yuzong, which is usually the comfort pick, and our picks that. I mean, he played a decent Claude in the last game and worked out pretty well for him. But he chooses to pick that new goal instead for the Camilla. So pretty decent draft so far. We won't be seeing any assassin jungles so far from Konsad. He opts for the Granger. I'm assuming everyone's just gonna go for their comfort pick in the very first game and then see how that goes. They did ban out the Joy on the side of Aqua Diaz. I'm not so sure about the Aldo's ban, but I mean it is Nemesis Prime go-to XP lane hero. Usually doesn't go for that so much, but like they opt to ban it. What do you think so far, Ire?
I'm actually gonna say it's a smart move to ban out the Aldous. Just try to take him off his comfort picks, and we've seen how detrimental or like how really good he can be on that hero. So I actually think it's a good move. But also to the side of Enigma 9, you see they've gone with the Granger, not necessarily meta, but a really good pick as well. So maybe they have a certain type of draft in mind, and we've seen how Khan can be really, really dangerous in these types of damage dealing junglers as well. I also like the Digi pick. What do you think about the Digi pick?
I think it's a pretty good pick. Also, it avoids any sort of set hero. They haven't really picked a Romo on their side, but it makes sure that there isn't any Roam heroes that have any CC, especially for that Granger. So those are two pretty good picks. And also, fun fact, they are called Enigma 15 now instead of Enigma 9 because they expanded their squad. So that's going to be interesting to see how. Yeah, they're called Enigma 15 now.
Enigma 15.
Yeah, 15 players.
Wow, I'm gonna just call it for convenience sake. I'm just going to call them Enigma. But yeah, but yeah, they're a really good squad, man, and it's interesting to see how they're. With the WAN ban, I was curious to see what kind of marksman they'll go with. To support their kind of composition, because I thought maybe Carey would have been somebody that they would have been perfect for their lineup actually. For that tankiness and also for that damage, because having two marksmen, it's a bit of a 50-50 gamble in my opinion. It can either go well for you, can either go really, really terrible for you. So I was kind of interested to see how that will go, but they do decide to go with the Clint and the Kadira. What do you think about the Hilda pick here? I'm thinking it's just to like zone out Khan, but what do you think about this pick?
I think they picked it immediately. I mean, they weren't even thinking about it, but mostly it doesn't have CC, and I mean, I think he's gonna try to harass Khan as much as he can, try to be in their jungle and try those sort of things. But also in this, I mean, they did ban the 1-1, which is usually what Taka plays, but Taka isn't playing here, so I would have opted for the Clint ban. Tokolosha usually just locks in that the Clint in his gameplay, so interesting to see how they didn't ban it. But like, I mean, nonetheless, they do have a pretty good draft from both teams. I haven't really seen Rika on Balmont, or sort of like a tanky jungle in general. So we'll have to see how he does in this game. And them having a Valir also allows that Balmont to not be so easily countered. Also, they have a jungler that's not as squishy for the Khadija to just instantly burst himself. Both teams have a good draft. It's all about execution, but I still think that Diggy is a pretty good pick for the side of
Yeah, it is a really, really good pick. Also, for their composition, because you know how Hilda can just jump into the back line and become a huge problem. Also with the CC and the curtain call as well. So it's not as much of a heavy CC, if you would, type of draft that comes from the side of Aqua Diaz, but I do think the D can be a good pick here. And we're seeing a bit of a early game invade by Mob onto Khan, and he is doing a bit of damage, but Khan does manage to get that red buff. He is in a very bad position here, but Enigma 9 decides not to engage, but he will stay there to be more of a menace. He's in a very bad position and does get taken down. So the first kill does go to Jinx on this Kadita. What do you think about that invade? Oh, now they're invading the blue. Especially now with Khan not having the red tree Rika, this might be a free, and it is. They take the blue buff goes to the side of Rika. What do you think about this rotation from Khan?
I think the healer's not really interested in getting any kills. Just distracted. I think they've got a very nice skill on the jungler here. That's a very big setback on them, especially since the Balmon's gonna get his blue buff and he's gonna have a level 4 by the time Turtle comes. So I think that was a very, very good strategy to have the healer there. I mean, who's exactly gonna stop him? I mean, if they try to help Khan in the jungle, they might be a bit behind in farm. So I think Hilda's doing a pretty good job. Not going to be getting a lot of kills, but that he's just constantly going to be harassing the jungler of Enigma.
Yeah, and we're seeing a bit of an invade towards Nemesis, and the kill does go towards Rika, if I'm not mistaken. So it does go towards Rika, and as you said, the Balmer does scale, or rather is very dangerous in the early game. So you don't necessarily want to give him that advantage because they can snowball, especially with the draft that they have. But it seems as though Enigma 9 are going to give this turn. What do you think about that? It seems as though they're not going to contest.
I don't think they can. Khan is very, very far behind, even if it goes there. I think it's a suicide mission. But what's going to happen now is that Rika didn't use his retribution there, but he's going to be using it for Khan's blue buff there. So he's doing a pretty good job right now of staying in the farm of Kanye. But they did get the kill on the Valeria. So I mean, they got some return on it, but just that constantly harassing the farm of Kanye.
Yes, and they do get that. I think Rika actually got that that blue buff, so the Granger pick is starting not to look like that great of a pick right now. But Nemesis Prime here at top in a 2v1, he does get the kill onto Soy, and he is doing a bit of damage onto Mob. So that Dragon Boy right there is scaling, or rather doing a lot of damage, especially now. But you are seeing a bit of a skirmish in the gold lane right now. I don't know how this is going to play out. It seems as though they're setting up Cahill for the kill, and Khan and the rest of the team does go for the engage, and Jinx does get the kill with the rough waves being expanded in that team fight. Now it's just waiting to see how Aqua Deers respond to that. It seems as though Rika is heading down here towards Khan, but is stuck in a very bad position. But Sox is there to help him with the disengage. That was a really good gank on gold lane. What do you think about that play?
It was a good play in gold lane, but also in the XP lane. Nemesis Prime managed to take down 2 members of Aqua Deers there, so it's gonna be so fed upcoming for the next turtle. He's managing to just handle the 2 members of Aqua Deers. They killed the healer, then he also killed the CC. So doing a pretty good job of holding his lane. They're not focused as much on trying to get him to die there, but they might be able to kill him here. If he doesn't, I mean, does Rika have ult? He doesn't. So he manages to get away there.
Yes, and he does use the Black Dragon form to disengage, but we are seeing another engage and at the gold lane, but this time Dokurishi does survive. Yeah, he does survive. So now I think Rika is taking down the turtle. I'm a bit surprised about the levels that they are. Now that Rika would have been higher, and it's a bit of a 50-50, and Khan does get the red tree. Despite Balmond using the legal count, he does get the red tree, but Khan also manages to get a kill. I think he used the Death Sonata in that play, so he does manage to get the kill. So he's a bit ahead in terms of level, although he had a bit of a disadvantage in the early game, and Rika is in a very bad position here, and Khan does use that Rhapsody to get the kill. It looks as though the next target will be this red buff. Mob also here in a very bad position, pulled back by the Diggy, and the Rhapsody by Khan is used to get the kill onto Hilda. That was a very bad play from him. Wait, I think we Oh, there was also a 1v1 at top lane, Soy versus Nemesis Prime, and I think this first time in the game, Soy does get the advantage in that 1v1. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, so far I think Nemesis Prime, because he always been there, that mostly because of the turret damage. Right now, there's been zero turrets taken from both teams, but I think right now, Nemesis Prime's team, Enigma 9, they're managing to get their rhythm. I mean, they're at that stage where they're not as far behind as they were in the early game. You know, even if they did get invaded, you don't really see that in the level difference. But the shutdown on, as I'm saying, there's a shutdown on the Grangers, so it's a pretty good position for them to be in. They have responded with a kill of their own, but it looks like also that Digi might die there. So 2 kills on the side of Aquadiz now.
Yes, 2 kills to the side of Aquadiz on the top lane. And we are seeing a bit of a gank here on bot as Hilda positions himself. I think the target will be Clint. But no, he does freeze the wave. And Jinx manages to get the rough waves onto Cahill. And with the help of the turret, does get the kill. That was a wonderful push. Camp, if you may, in that play right there. And Mob is taken really, really low by Takalishi and Jinx. I think their damage is really starting to scale now. So the draft towards Enigma is really starting to play well. And Nemesis Prime gets a kill on Sox as well. I like how they're using their advantage at the moment, getting not only the turret, the kills, and just snowballing in that sense. But Mob with the bush, Mob gets the kill onto Jinx with Bush Camp there. Barriga is in a very bad position. Will Khan engage onto him, and he does. Uses that Rhapsody to get the kill onto Rika. A bit of a recall show here in the middle lane as Enigma 9 secure that total. What do you think about how these drafts are playing out so far, especially with how we thought Enigma 9 would be in a bit of a disadvantage in the early game?
I mean, I think it's getting past after that early game. I think the early game they played a bit smart. They weren't involved in a lot of social fights because they knew they weren't going to win those. So they played pretty fast and they were able to catch up in the farm. But I also would like to see a bit of more anti-heal on the side of Aqua Diaz here because he's dealing with a lot of heroes that have so much heal potential, and he just simply no response yet from the side of Enigma. You ever use Zong, just constantly healing, they're unable to kill him because they don't have anti-heal. So I think that if they manage to build it up, they might be in a better position in terms of team fight here.
Yes, especially with his build setup, but we are seeing a bit of an engage here at the bot lane. KO is in a very bad position and gets taken down by Takaloshi as the rest of Aquadiz decide to disengage. In that skirmish, the time journey, if I'm not mistaken, was also used. So they expended a lot of good ults in that team fight, but Mob is in a very bad position and does get engaged on by 4 members of Enigma, but manages to escape. Nemesis Prime with the Black Dragon form onto the back line, but the disengage is deep enough, so he also retreats from that play. As you said, Enigma 9 really played that early game really well, and they're starting to scale. I think all of their picks, directed towards the late game. So it'll be interesting to see how Aquadiz respond to that. But we're seeing a bit of engage here at mid lane as Khan does use that Destinata onto the team, but doesn't get the kill. But Jinx manages to go in and uses that rough waves and does get the double kill onto the side of Aquadiz, and it is a 2-0 in the mid lane as the torrent is also taken here. What do you think about that play?
I think it was a pretty good play right now. I think I feel like they had Aquadiz had a pretty good strategy for the early game. Just not so sure what they would do in the late game because they're not moving exactly as a unit and they're just getting manhandled by the Yuzong. Look at the amount of damage he's dealing, bro. There's so much damage coming in from him. And then right now it looks like they are going to be setting out for the next Lord here.
Yes. It looks likely they have to give this Lord. They don't have the damage. And I don't think they scale as well as as well as Enigma. And yeah, Nemesis Prime is really doing a lot of damage here. And as you've mentioned, there's not really a lot of anti-heal, but I see Mob is building towards that dominant ice. I'm not so sure if it's a bit too late for it, but we'll have to see how it goes. And it seems as though Enigma is setting up to take the torrent here in mid lane, as Dogoloshi is doing a lot of damage, forcing the team to disengage, and the rough waves is used onto the back line. Also, the time journey with the death with the Death Sonata, if I'm not mistaken, used by Khan to get the triple kill here. But Dogoloshi does take away that maniac just in time, just to show a bit of remorse towards the team. And I think this will be the first game of the series, and it does go to Enigma 9. Yeah, that was an interesting play there at the end. What do you think about that? What do you think about that skirmish?
I think Con was expecting the maniac, but Sokoloshi actually I think he just underestimated his damage. I don't think he intentionally did that. Yeah, no, anyways, was GG to the side of Enigma 9 here. I think Aqua Diaz had a decent early game. They were doing pretty well. I just think they got that anti a bit late. And the CC wasn't winning their lane at all. I think they could have picked up anti a bit early. It doesn't look like Yuzong had so much impact here, but I think he did pretty well in holding his lane. And the carry didn't have the best game here. He was only involved in one participation of the kills, but like I also don't think he was busy winning his lane so much. He was going for the tank carry build, but unfortunately the damage was coming in from Enigma 9 was a bit too much for him.
Yes, yeah, the damage was a bit too much for them, and he couldn't handle it. Also, towards Enigma 9, how they chose to, focus the gold lane in that mid type of skirmish where they got the kill. So Tokoleshi did manage to, build up really well and was starting to do a lot of damage. But yeah, as we look at the stats on the game, Khan did do a lot of damage, 43% of the damage from Enigma 9 coming from him, with Tokoleshi coming in second with the 29%. But the Yuzong, as you said, his involvement in the game may not necessarily show with the KDA, but it does show here with the damage taken. It was, kind of like the tank or that front laner for the team, as he did take around about 45% of the total damage of the team. So it's it's wonderfully managed by the side of Enigma 9, and they really played that very well. Congratulations to them. But that is only the first game of this wonderful series. As we jump on to the next, it will be interesting to see how Aquadish respond to that. Will they change their draft? Will they change their lineup? Will they, what kind of strategies will they employ to kind of change how, or to kind of, change the disadvantage that they're at the moment? But yeah, as we're getting ready, or as the players are getting ready, I would implore the viewers to like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you can, to keep up with the Equilibrium channel. But yeah, show your support and let's get active as we're about to start the second game of today's series. It is Enigma 9 or Enigma 15, if I'm not mistaken, versus Aquadiz.
Now just go with Enigma 9, don't worry. Only 9 players are registered anyway, so don't worry. Don't worry yourself about the name.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised we didn't have 5 bans, because I remember some people were calling for it. What happened to that?
No, Aquadiaz rejected that offer. Remember, it was up to the teams whether or not they wanted the 5 bans, but Aquadiaz, I mean, they did offer it in the previous encounter. It was a 5 ban series, but they did not want it in this one.
Yes, maybe they're hoping that 3 ban system could work in their favor. Unfortunate in the first game, but we are seeing that Aldo's ban again. A primary respect towards Nemesis Prime, as we've seen him on the Yuzong, as also he's an enigma, pardon the pun, on that Aldous as well. So it's a prior ban for them. We are also seeing Marta's being picked up by the side of Aquadiz. We've seen how important, we've seen how good that hero can be. What do you think about Erika's pick here?
I mean, that's his comfort hero, just that they was banned in the last game. He's usually playing Nolan, Joy, and Martus in these tournaments. So I think I think he got a Maniac last time around, so I think he's pretty comfortable on the hero. Does have also a bit more damage than the last hero. I think in the last game they had the Balmond, they had the carry was building tank. They didn't have a lot of damage, so it's hard for them to get in. But also they pick up the PG for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. He was the one that got the Maniac on the Martis. I forget who it was against, but he was a very, very he did a lot of good plays on that hero. But we are seeing the Digi pick again, but this time to the side of Aqua Diaz, respecting that type of hero. But Enigma 9 decides to respond with the Matilda. What do you think about the Matilda and Xborg, if I'm not mistaken? Xborg combination here.
I think for me it's more about the type of heroes they're playing. They're focusing more on comfort here. I mean, Circa does play quite a bit of Matilda himself, so I think in terms of team fights, he might be able to move his teammates out of danger. Diggy's out isn't exactly engage sort of skill. It's usually just for disengage. So Matilda might be able to get them out of danger there with that skill. But Diggy's also pretty good in case maybe when Xbox does his thing, they might be able to get out of it. Maybe if there's a lot of CC coming in, but in terms of maybe just a bit of shield is gonna work out for them.
Yeah, I'm one thing I'm very curious about is to see the Digi interaction with the Matilda. Will the guiding waves be able to help the team escape, especially when Digi uses that second skill? I'm wondering the interaction between that. But yeah, we're seeing the Clint again from Togolosh. We've seen his game management on that hero, a very comfortable hero, and a very good hero, especially when going towards the late game. Does really good amount of damage. But Cahill does really. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the Cloud, but he instead goes for the Ixia. What do you think about the Ixia, especially with the amount of dive that Enigma 9 have?
I think Ixia is a good hero. I'm just not sure about the Nana. I mean, I think they're better mages that you can pick out, but usually it's about the player themselves, right? I think maybe they're going for a bit more CC on their side. I just think Nana struggles a bit, especially if he doesn't get farmed. If she doesn't get farmed enough, but might be able to make the hero work. It's just that when you're facing a hero like Lunox who can basically escape a lot of Nana's skills, it might be a bit difficult for them to capture that the mage there. So I'm not so sure about the Nana pick, but it could work for them if they're comfortable enough on the hero.
Yes. Yeah, but I think maybe they're trying to overcompensate towards, because last game they didn't really pick a lot of damage heroes, so they're trying to compensate and just see how they'll take on the second game. With the Ixia, Benedetta as well, Martis. I don't really see any hero that's not really damage oriented. So it's maybe they're trying to switch up their gameplay a bit and build towards the late game. But yeah, these are the drafts for the second game. But please be reminded, this is only the second game of a best of 5. So even if Aqua Diaz lose here, they still have one more chance to create an upset, if you will, or to change the trajectory of the game. But we do have the drafts here: the Clint to the side of Tokoloshi, Diggy on the side of Mob, Socks on the Nana, which Nigel has mentioned that he's not really sure about. So what do you guys think in the comment section? What do you guys think about these drafts as we're about to get into game number 2? Which draft do you like the most overall?
Me right now, I'm gonna go with the draft that doesn't have Nana, but purely because I don't like Nana hero. But like right now, mostly because of their comfort pick. I mean, we have seen the Martis, but just the late game of Martis is not the best. But we'll have to see how both teams do it. I mean, in terms of 1v1, Martis has a lot of potential to do a lot of damage to the lineup of Enigma 9 here. So it just depends on how the early game goes, Rika.
Yes, we saw a bit of a pause. Okay. But never mind the pause. But yeah, we are seeing Khan here setting up to take the Lethal Wanderer, as it's not going to be contested by the side of Aqua Diaz, deciding for a different type of aggressive rotation on the Martyrs here. Yeah, but everything is a bit steady at the moment. Both teams playing it safe, getting a bit of farm, making sure they have, or maybe they can reach that level 4. As I think maybe the first primary skirmish we'll see will be the total. But yeah, we're seeing a bit of an invade here at bot lane with 3 members on each side, or sorry, 4 members to the side of Aqua Diaz. So it's a bit of a 4v4 here as Rika does engage onto circuit, but the retry is used by Khan, and Rika does decide to disengage, and Mr. Crab is taken by Rika, but Rika is whoever did that damage, I think it was circuit, it does really do a lot of damage right now and is showing his advantage, but the Rhapsody onto Khan forces Rika to disengage as we prepare for a bit of a turtle fight here as both teams rotate towards the top. Yeah, well, what do you think about this play so far? Both junglers have level 4, but very important ults are not to the side of them. But Soy is low, and Rika does engage onto him with the death sonata, if I'm not mistaken, but doesn't manage to get the kill. Rika decides to engage onto Jinx, but does get the kill, so it's a 1v1 so far. It's looking like it's going to be a 50-50 towards the total, and Rika does get the total as Soy does engage onto Khan, but it's Khan in a very bad position as Diggy is used as a re-engage, but Circuit is very low and does get taken down. It looks like Aqua Diaz. Oh, it looked like Aqua Diaz were going to go for a bit of an invade, but they decide against it. All teams at this moment have reached that level 4, so it'll be interesting to see the next skirmish and how it plays out. But for now, Aqua Diaz do get 2 kills and the turtle. What do you think about that skirmish?
I think it was a pretty good early game for both teams. But I also I'm quite impressed with Soy. He's basically winning his lane, which is exactly what his team needs right now. Because right after he was done clearing his lane, he was able to go straight to the back line off Enigma 9's comp and sort of try to get the kills for this team. So I think I like what he's doing so far in the early game.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a different tune towards what we've seen last time, but Circuit is in a very bad position and does get taken down by the Nana. So seeming like a very good pick, but the Death Sonata is used by Khan, and Sorks does manage to escape, but he's in a very bad position and does get taken down by Rika as a 2-for-1, if I'm not mistaken, goes towards the side of Aqua Diaz. Really good game, really good early game management from them, using that Martis to his full potential. So what do you think? What do you think about the Martis? As you said, it doesn't really scale well, but if it can give them that early game advantage, they can really get to their win condition. What do you think about the Martis here?
I think it's a pretty good pick for them, just like the Bowman was a decent pick. I just think that right after the mid game, he looked a bit shaky for the side of Aqua Diaz, as in they weren't moving well together as a team. So if they can keep the momentum up, they might be able to, win the game here. I just think that all about the early game, but they're managing to win that, which is exactly what they needed. But we saw in the last game too, they won the early game and late game was a bit difficult for them. So if they can keep the momentum up, they might be able to win the game. But again, Martis can't be the last hope for the late game because he's not going to be dealing as much damage. Especially after the enemy has picked up Antique or something like that.
The Martis doesn't really scale well, so it will be interesting to see how that goes. But Soy does engage onto Jinx, if I'm not mistaken, but Khan, I thought it was going to be Circuit, but Khan with the Death Sonata does get the kill. So it'll be a bit of a 50-50, but Khan does get the retry this time, and it looks like there will be a bit of an engage towards the Martis, but the time journey that is used with the last insanity used to take down Rika, and the Nemesis does get that double kill onto who did that? Onto the Diggy, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. Also the Nana is taken down, so that Nana pick is at first it was seeming like a very good pick, but Enigma really turning up if you would, and they're making me question that pick now. But we are I think that was a bit of a 1v1 at top lane. So Jinx does win that against Soy. So what that's wonderful. That's a wonderful turnaround by the side of Enigma 9. What do you think about that?
I feel like they understand their heroes and they know exactly when they'll be pretty good. I feel like there's a certain time in the game when they start engaging. And the Nana pick, right, it's good for CC, right? It's good for a bit of CC. But if they have a Matilda, which was picked pretty early, it's very, very easy for them to just get out of that out. But very nice shutdown coming in from Soy here. He's doing a pretty good job. Unfortunately, he just pays for that with his life.
Yes, he does pay that for his life. And in the meantime, Nemesis Prime does win 1v1 versus Cahill in the bot lane. And the turrets, both second tier turrets, if I'm not mistaken, taken really low. And I think Clint is about to make it, it's about to take the first second tier turret. So it's wonderful game management by the side of Enigma 9, as we're seeing a bit of an invade here at the blue buff, but who got that? I think Sox got it. So it's a buff not towards the side of Rika, but his Aquadiers do get the buff. Yeah, so do you think there's a way that Aquadiers can make a turnaround in this game with seeing the type of draft they have?
The thing is, Nana doesn't really scale. I know it sounds like I'm just hating on Nana, but it doesn't scale well, especially when she's underfarmed. I think right now they need to figure out a way that they can get at least one person farm. Right now, it seems to be looking like the Nadessa is going to be the key to victory. I mean, they also have the Ixia, which I forgot to mention, but right now they're just focusing the Ixia right now. But Ixia might be able to get the kill.
Yes, but the time journey is expanded here. I thought there was going to be a kill on Jinx, but he does manage to survive. So it is a 3-for-1 towards the side of Enigma 9. As they continuously win these trades, not only do they take down the turtle, but they do manage to take down 2 turrets or 2 second tier turrets as well. As yeah, that's wonderful play by them. They pressed their advantage and they pressed it really well. A lot of ults were used in that skirmish. Especially with the Xbox. I don't know why I keep calling it Xbox. Maybe it's because of the giveaway that we have, but yeah, it was a wonderful play by Nemesis Prime, who was unfortunately killed in that skirmish. And Rika does use the retreat here, but I think will count for nothing, as Tokoloshi does use that Clint passive to take down the second tier torrents. And Rika's in a very bad position here, but does get taken, or rather is taken down by Tokolosh. Soy does engage towards the side of Enigma 9, but a lot of damage is being dealt towards him, and he is killed, and Enigma 9 manages to get a wipeout. They managed to get a wipeout in the 9th minute of the game as they hurdle here in the mid lane. It'll be interesting to see if Rican can come up with a play, but I don't think they have any minions, so they won't be able to. So they won't be able to end the game. But they decide to show their advantage as they recall. Khan does recall here. Yeah, that was a wonderful play by Enigma 9 as they do get that first inhibitor torrent. They do get that inhibitor turret and they do get that shutdown, so it's a massive win for them. Yeah, especially seeing how they scale so well. And we're seeing the first total of the game. The first load of the game go towards the side of Enigma 9. It'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to end with this load. Do you think they will be able to, or are we?
There was a competition earlier, right, where they said that basically if you predict the correct score, you can win the Starlight. I have 3-2 on Aquadiers. I really need Aquadiers to win the next 3 games here so I can win that Starlight. Right now it's not looking so good. It looks like it's gonna end in Enigma's favor. So let's just see how Aquadiers does this game. What would you do, by the way?
Yes, and the full barrage is used to clear that Lord, but the last Insanity is used by Nemesis Prime into that back line. Jinx in a very bad position here, but does get taken down. Nemesis Prime did survive. Soy does engage towards the side of Enigma 9, but doesn't manage to. It is a 3-for-1, but I think this is going to be a 2. Oh, sorry. There's way too many things to focus on in that last skirmish. But yeah, the Clint does focus on the Torrent, and it is a 2-for-0 in this series towards the side of Enigma 9 as they're showing their dominance in this series. Congratulations towards them. What do you think Aqua Days could have done in this game to change the outcome?
I think they need to play a bit more. I think in that game against Equilibrium, they were playing well as a team. They had a pretty good draft. I think that the comp that they're picking this time around, I think it's really focused on their first pick, and then they just go along with the other picks, and it's not really working out for them. So I think they need to figure out a draft that works for them specifically. It's just that the heroes are getting banned out, and it's a bit difficult for them to do something. So in the early game, they win a lot of those early game exchanges. Just that in the late game, it becomes a bit difficult for them to figure out what exactly they need to do. Whether they need to push, whether or not they need to focus on gameplay. Just that those late game decision making is a bit difficult for them right now. I feel like if they can figure them out for this game, they might be able to make a 3-2 win. But we'll have to see. And it looks like Enigma 9 has made a substitution, and they will be adding Taka on. I think he's replacing Tokoloshi there. So we'll have to see what Taka does. He's the one that was playing 1-1 in the other games. But yeah, let's see what he does.
Yes, and congratulations towards Enigma for that win. But I'd like to take just a few minutes before we start the third game to also thank everybody for viewing as well. Thank you for showing support towards the tournament, and thank you to everybody involved in general. As he said, please leave a comment below, or rather, just say your predictions. Even though we're this far in, but yeah, just show your predictions and just engage with the rest of the crew. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Enigma 9 will manage to they'll manage to win this game. And if they do, if I'm not mistaken, that's a win, right? In the grand final, that's a win for them. Right?
Definitely, if Enigma 9 wins this game in which they're the first pick, the games will be done. It'll be 3-0 to Enigma 9.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Aqua Days respond to this. They haven't really been winning their draft phase, and they haven't really been winning their draft phase because it seems as though Khan and Taka and the rest of Enigma get their comfort heroes, and they're really showing their dominance on those heroes. So I'm praying towards for Aqua Days to make this seemingly last game a bit of a challenge, if you may. And I do think they have the capability. We've seen them in the last 2 series in the lower bracket, if I'm not mistaken, where they actually showed their dominance and showed how good of a team they are. Their rotations, their overall strategy. So they are a very good team. It just seems at the moment that Enigma 9 are a bit, or maybe a level above them. So I'm hoping they can show their quality here, because I do think at least they have to take away a game or 2, But yeah, we are at this moment, which is potentially the last game of the series. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, engage with the team. Let us know what you think at the moment. Let us know how you guys are feeling. So yeah, so this is the third game, and Enigma 9 decides to ban that Joy again. Constantly focus on Vika with that jungle ban, but Aqua Days decide to respond with the Aldous ban again. So 3 in a row, they've decided to ban that Aldous. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But this time, Enigma 9 decides to ban that Martyrs. I don't know if they fear a different type of strategy with that Martyrs, that they do decide to ban it out. But Aqua Days respond with the Granger ban for the first time. So they decide with the Granger ban, and they do pick up the Noland. What do you think about this change in type of draft from the side of Aqua Days?
I mean, we're finally getting to see Rico on the Nolan. He did play a pretty good game with the Nolan, so I mean, and they finally pick out the Yuzong on their side. So I think it is good. I'm just not sure if Jinx is actually gonna lock down. I think they're gonna experiment a bit in this game. But when Valir is a comfort pick. If you're gonna go Eudora, I'm gonna say it's a full experiment to the draft. But we see the Gusion on the side of Con. We also see the Valir on the side of Jinx here. So both good drafts. I'm not so sure again about the tanky. I mean, it could work. It could work against the two people there on the side of Enigma 9. It's just that it's very difficult. It didn't work out well in the last game. In the very first game, it is.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Yes, and we're seeing. I don't know if anybody else has picked Gujin before. Has anybody else picked Gujin? I don't think they have. Oh wait, no, we have seen a Gujin game.
Yeah,
Right?
Rika picked Gushin in the other game. Yeah, Rika and Con have both picked Gushin in the tournament. So we haven't really seen a lot of Beatrix. There was a point where Beatrix was everywhere. Beatrix was
Always on the way.
in a 5-man. Beatrix was in five every single place. You just see Beatrix. It's just that now she's not as popular in terms of marksman. All we're seeing is Carry Tank or Claude. But like, yeah, who actually won the M5? Oh, it was Claude. So Claude won the M5 skin for everyone who's wondering what happened there. So yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of Beatrix. I'm interested to see how the Beatrix does in this game. And about now the Diggy, which suggests we don't really see Enigma 9 pick up any of those set sort of tanks. It's very, very rare to see them playing any set tanks. So we'd have to see what they go for. Usually they go for support / roam heal type of roamer. So we'd have to see what they pick. I think the Diggy, I'm not so sure about Eudora. Eudora. Have a look at the show.
But yeah, I think they were just showing the Eudora, but we did, as you mentioned, sorry, the Beatrix hasn't really been seen a lot in this tournament as well. Also because of there are a lot of meta picks like the Wan, the Claude, the Bruno as well was popping off at a time, so we haven't really seen a lot of the Beatrix. But towards the side of Enigma 9, I think maybe they were playing towards Circuit. Maybe he's not necessarily set on this set type of tanks. So we are seeing a bit of a first time type of pick for Circuit. I don't think we've seen him on these set tanks, have we?
I've seen him on Lolita. Just I was talking about like Minotaur, but like yeah, he does play quite a bit of Lolita. Also, the Diggy ban also makes a bit more sense in this instance. I think he was number 1 with Lolita at some point also. So pretty comfortable picks from all of them. Just that you hardly get to see this sort of draft. Please don't pick Nana again. I'm not so sure about the Nana here. I think they need a different mid laner, especially since it's gonna be Nana versus Valir in the mid lane. I just don't think that Nana is a good pick here. I think maybe Eve, maybe Sicilian, maybe something that can actually go toe to toe with the Valir. Valir isn't constantly about bursting. It's more about the slow and continuous burst damage, and there's a lot more range for the Valir here. I think he just outranges the Nana. So I think a different mid laner would have been good here. Just not so sure about picking the Nana twice, but maybe because they didn't get completely do a terrible game last time, they decided to pick up the Nana again.
Yeah, and also I think also the mid lane has changed because Mob or H2O right now is on the Nana. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sox was on the Nana in the previous game, so it'll be interesting to see how Mob plays this game. But we are seeing a bit of a show here. I'm wondering if we'll see a bit of TikTok plays from the side of from Soxos, from Super Sox. So it's a bit of a I don't know, pick off type of draft with the Cho here, but it will be interesting to see if it works out. We are seeing a bit of recalls here by the side of Enigma 9. Yeah, but who do you think has the advantage in this game?
I think in the game, Rika's team does have the bit of an early game advantage, mostly because right now they're trying to make sure that the jungler is farmed. I think both of them will have season 90 here. Just that the battle of the early game again. Again, I think that Aqua DS doesn't really lose out in the early game. Just that Gushin also in this instance again, their jungler is going to be the one that falls up, especially if they pick up a bit of radiant armor. I think they do good here. And again, we see Max go XP lane 1 year, but I see a lot more focus. Oh, whoa! There we go. Yuzong wins that XP lane battle and getting that first blood on Nemesis Prime. So right now, I think Lolita's going to try to get bit more help on the side of Enigma 9 to try to get a bit of advantage on the Beatrix here. But what do you think so far of the early game exchanges?
I think the Yuzong is incredibly broken, man, because he's been winning his lanes not only in this tournament but also against me. I've had a really bad time in rank with the Yuzong, but yeah, it's a really good pick towards Soy, especially winning it this time. We are seeing a bit of an engage here at bot. Both Rika and Khan decides to use their ults, but more of a disengage rather than damage potential wise. And oh, he's not even level 4. I thought the Valier was level 4. But Sux does engage onto Enigma 9, but without that level 4, he does disengage. So it's a bit of an early game skirmish just to psych each other out and see which team may have the advantage. And as you said, it's leaning towards the side of Aquadius, but we have said this for 2 games so far. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue this early game bit of a dominance, or will Enigma 9 come up with the goods and turn this around. But now we are setting up for a Lord, sorry, not a Lord, for a Turtle fight here. Both XP laners with level 4, so we might see that last Insanity and the Black Dragon form being used up. But Jinx does get the Turtle. I don't know how that happened. Soy is in a very bad position here as he's used the Black Dragon form already. Rika does decide to engage, but is taken really low, and fortunately for him, he does have enough mana and enough. He does have the skill sets to disengage and does manage to escape in that team fight. We're also seeing a bit of a skirmish here in the gold lane as Taka is taking a bit of advantage against the Beatrix here. A few years ago, that's not something we would have said. The Beatrix was really OP. So it's interesting to see how times have changed. What do you think about this Cloud versus Beatrix spot in the bot lane?
I think there's a lot of focus on the 2 main stun coming in there. I think they're getting a lot of damage coming in. I just think right now Enigma 9 has a bit more control on the map, which is usually something that they don't have right now. I mean, they have the Gushin, who's, I think, is about 2 levels in front of Rika. Is it 2 levels or 1 level? It's 1 level. But right now he's in the farm of Enigma of Aquadius. Is gonna steal his buff here, which is gonna put him quite a bit of advantage, especially if Nolan needs that blue buff to do anything useful, eh?
And Khan does manage to get the red tree. So it's really not looking good for Rika at the moment. Also, overall, it's not looking good for Aquadius, but I do think he's looking for a counter steal, as Khan did use that retribution. He does manage to get it and use that fraction to be able to disengage out of that. So it's a bit of a trade. It's a trade of blue buffs from the side of Enigma 9 and Aquadius. And Khan is in a very good position here, and he does take down Rika in a 1v1 here at top lane. Nemesis Prime does gain the advantage here in top lane, but the Petrify is used by Sox as a re-engage, and that heal is coming in clutch at the moment, but he is in a very bad position, and Nemesis Prime does manage to get the kill in a 2v1 versus Soy, and it looks like the second turtle of the game will be free, but Aquadius does respond with a bit of gold lane dominance as the turtle was taken down and went to the side of Enigma 9. I think he was looking for a bit of invade, but luckily Rika managed to get the red tree, and Khan does engage onto Soy at the moment, and he doesn't get the kill, but also Circuit uses the ult, but also doesn't manage to get the kill. So it's a bit fortunate for Soy to be able to survive that skirmish, and it will look like the first torrent of the game will be that top torrent being taken down. And we are seeing a bit of a skirmish in the mid lane as Valier does use that ult, but the damage does come in clutch. Also, Sox does use the kick, but is in a very bad position as Khan hunts him down, but he does manage to escape. Wait, Khan does manage to get the kill. And during that skirmish in the mid lane, a 1v1 for Taka in the bot lane as well. So it's it's a lot of dominance towards the side of Enigma 9 on both sides, um, on both lanes. I'm sorry, but they do manage to get the kill. Enrique is in a very bad position here, and I don't think he has the blue buff, so he might be taken down. Circuit does use that ult onto. I think it managed to get only Beatrix, but there was no engage onto that. So a very useful ult used up by Circuit here. And it'll be interesting to see if Aquadiz decides to use that towards their advantage. And Sox does use the kick towards Taka, but Taka does manage to survive with the Blazing Duet as his disengaged tool. But Cahill, in the meantime, is taken down, and it is a bit of a 3 versus 2 in the bot lane as Sox is taken down, and Soy looks likely to be the second person. And Jinx is really low, but does manage to survive as Khan does get the kill. So I think it was a 2-for-1 trade towards the side of Enigma 9. And we're seeing a bit of an engaged in the tunnel as Khan did go full blast, but Rika managed to get the outplay. In the meantime, Nemesis Prime does get the trade off by getting a kill onto Cahill. Cahill is not really doing well here on the Beatrix. What do you think about him so far?
I think two things. They have the Lolita, who basically deflects your damage and brings it back to you. So Lolita is a pretty decent hero to use against Beatrix. Imagine if a Beatrix uses, ult, and then basically your ult is directed straight at you. And another thing in the mid lane, the Cho is there, but Valir ult allows them to disengage from the Cho kick. So I think they have a bit of heroes that work against Enigma 9's picks. And they picked them into those heroes. So I'm not so sure right now. Maybe Brody could have worked here, but again, it's a bit difficult right now to be in the position that Aquadiz is in right now.
Yes, but they do manage to get that kill onto Nemesis Prime. And I think Soy will be looking to take that torrent there, but Circuit really doing a good job at giving vision. But Rika does engage onto Sox, and Cahill gets the snipe onto Jinx. So that Valier, who's a very annoying hero to go up against in these lower types of fights, will not be available towards the side of Enigma 9. It will be interesting to see if they do take this opportunity and take down the Lord. But they are playing it safe, so I'm a bit surprised that they do not, press their advantage. But Rika does decide to engage onto Taka, but is in a very bad position and does get taken down by a Nemesis Prime as the Numenum Blast is used. Also, the Last Insanity is used by Nemesis Prime onto the back line and does get the members of Aquadiz really low, and another kill is taken towards the side of Enigma 9 onto the Soy. A bit of a reverse play, or just countering the advantage that they had, but Rika did engage onto the back line of Aquadiz, but was taken down. I think it's because Sox managed to use that way of dragon kick just in time to protect Cahill. So at the moment, Enigma 9 do not have a jungler, but Aquadiz do not use this time to get the Lord. So as I think they're playing it a bit passive. What do you think about how Aquadiz are playing at the moment? But Rika does get the kill onto Taka. So as I've mentioned before, it's a bit of a what do you call it? A take out, if I'm not mistaken, type of play from Aquadiz, where they're only taking it one kill at a time. So what do you think about Aquadiz's strategy at the moment?
I think right now they're trying. It's not working out right now. I just think that there isn't a lot of synergy yet, but it could work out. I think they're going to do a lot of these pick-off sort of 1v1 in the top lane. There's going to be Gushin versus Nolan here. Well, I think it was, the Gushin uses Retribution as an escape tool, but I see a lot of members of Enigma 9 are there to try and capitalize on that Cho. He's caught out of position. Cho just dies there, so unfortunately he isn't able to do anything with that draft. I mean, they have a pickup draft. It's just that there isn't any heroes to pick up. The Rio can disengage. They have the Lita, they have the Gushin. So many heroes with escape skills. So it's very difficult for them to have that escape thing that they were trying, that those solo kills. But right now, it looks like Enigma 9 are going to try to take the 12-minute Lord and end it with that Lord.
Yes, it looks like that is the plan for Enigma 9, and I do think they're counting on the fact that they scale really well to play towards that. But we are seeing a bit of a skirmish here at the top lane, and Rika, or I think Khan actually used the retribution as well. But they will have time if if Enigma 9 did not decide to take this load, so they'll have time for that retribution to come back. So now we're seeing a bit of an invade towards the blue buff as Rika is being zoned out by Nemesis Prime. We are seeing a bit of a Numinum Blast being used by Circuit. It does get 2 members, but it is inconsequential as the team manages to disengage very well. But Taka is in a very bad position, and the Molina Blitz, the damage from that Molina Blitz, also with the Petrify from Soy. So that combination does manage to get Taka, and we're seeing a bit of an skirmish here in the bot side, but no big ults being used. I think only Circuit's Numinum Blast should be the one that's on cooldown. But even with the advantage Aquadias have at the moment, they decide not to press against it and push towards this Lord, as Nemesis Prime and the rest of the team are doing a really good job at zoning them out. So what do you think about Aquadias so far? They are managing to get those solo kills, those pick-off kills, but they haven't really made it count for anything at the moment.
Right now, it seems like the Rika is going to be leaving the Lord here and going straight for the XP lane. I'm not so sure about that decision because they need that Lord right now. But also another thing is that the Beatrix is chilling with a sniper gun. I think if he chose a different gun, it would be good for them because it does have Husklo, If Husklo, it's more about, the amount of... It doesn't really work well with the sniper gun. It can work, but they look to be responding with their own kill. Got it.
Yes, and a kill, and Aquadias does manage to get a kill onto Khan, but also Rika is in a very bad position as a lot of ults are expanded to get him, and he's very low. The Numinum Blast, also the Jinx does manage to get the kill, but a Petrify and Black Dragon Form combination by the side of Socks is used, but doesn't manage to get the kill. And Blazing Duet is used by Taka. Everybody in Enigma 9 is extremely low. It'll be interesting to see if they engage. Nemesis Prime is in a very bad position as the Nibiru's Passion, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of the ult, gets used on him, and they do manage to get that immortality. So it is a 2-for-1 towards the side of Enigma 9 as the Lord is barreling down on the bot lane. So it does look likely that this bot torrent will be taken down, but Socks and the Cahill doing a really good job at taking this Lord down. And the Lord is at half HP, and it hasn't really gotten the opportunity to charge towards that torrent. And the Luminum Blast is used by Circuit, and there is a stun towards Cahill, but Jinx is taken down. Apologies, I couldn't necessarily see that skirmish, and the immortality is used up here by Circuit as the Molina Blitz is used as a way to clear the torrents, as Nana's passive is taken down by Khan. So it'll be interesting to see if Enigma 9 use this opportunity to end the series, but Soy does engage onto them and manages to get the kill onto Circuit, but is in a very bad position as Taka does engage onto him, but he manages to make it to the torrent and does survive. And that was a beautiful, that was a wonderfully managed tower defense by the side of Aquadias, as they do still have all their members, but Rika is in a very bad position here, and the fraction is used by Rika, and he does get the kill onto Khan, but Taka is in a very bad position here, as the Beatrix was waiting for him on the opposite side of his second skill, and he does get the kill. So that is a 3-for-0 kill towards the side of Aquadias. Will they be able to clinch a bit of a turnaround, but Rika does barrel down towards this blue buff. But he is extremely low, and Nemesis Prime is looking for the hunt. And he does get the kill onto Rika, and I think he was low on mana. So that kind of contributed as well, as you're seeing a Black Dragon form used by Soy to engage Nemesis Prime. It'll be interesting to see if he gets the kill. And he does get the kill onto Nemesis Prime, and he's in a very bad position as the damage from Jinx is slowly but surely taking, or rather increasingly making him low, but he does manage to escape and does manage to recall. So that is a lot of what do you call it? A lot of geographical advantage also going towards the side of Aqua Deers as they use that defense towards the side of them. But we are seeing a lot of ults being used here as the Nana is taken down, but Soxian is in a very bad position. Taka does use that Wind of Nature prematurely, but I don't think it will count for anything, as I don't think Taka has the mana to be able to get a counterplay off of this. But Circuit is in a very bad position, but does use that flicker to get out. Cahill is taken down by the Gusion. Also, Khan hunts down Rika as he's very low, as the rest of Enigma 9 decides to focus on that Lord. Khan is in a very good position here, and he is taken down by Rika in what seems to be a 1v1. So it does use that Black Dragon form. I think he was using it for a base defense, which now seems a bit unnecessary. So that is incredibly important ult expanded by Soy here in their base defense. So the Lord is barreling down here as the Molina Blitz is used, but it counts for almost nothing. Rika does engage onto the back line of Enigma 9 and does manage to get the kill onto Jinx, but did take Taka really low, and the Luminum Blast is used by Circuit but doesn't manage to get anyone as the Lord is taken down, and it looks like Aqua Deers will be able to defend this as a it's Rena used by Cahill to take down most of these minions. But the Last Insanity is also used here by Nemesis Prime, as he does get Soy really low, but Soy managed to get that immortality in time. Khan does manage also to get the kill onto him before he disengaged, and it is a 2-for. It was a 2-for-nothing. So it was a 2-for-1 trade towards the side of Enigma 9, but the Molina Blitz combination along with Cahill does manage to kill Khan. I don't know if he regrets using that Winter Trenchant prematurely. Nemesis Prime is in a very bad position here, as Rika decides to engage onto him, but manages to get the kill. Taka also engaged onto Aqua Deers, but unfortunately Cahill and Mob managed to get a kill onto him as well. So again, it's a wonderful base defense from the side of Aqua Deers, as they get a 3-for-nothing trade for them. What do you think about that base defense? I'm almost out of words, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was a pretty good engage from the side of Aqua Deers. I think they can get a kill here. Just that right now at this point, I don't think anyone can afford to lose any members. Right now, it looks like Enigma Line has lost a few members, especially since the next Lord is up. So they've lost the jungler. They won't have that jungler for the next Lord here. So I think they're in a pretty tough position, especially since Rika will have his ult. I think they're making quite, and they're engaging a lot without having a full team there. So I think if Rika manages to take this blue, they will be able to take down the next Lord here. So right now, I think Aqua Deers is in a pretty good position to take the win, or at least to make a reverse.
The Last Insanity was used by Nemesis Prime onto Mob. Mob did manage to survive, but Nemesis Prime was killed in return. We are seeing a blazing duet used by Taka, but Khan does manage to escape, and that was a 2-for-nothing trade towards the side of Aqua Deers. And yeah, as you've mentioned, they are managing to win these trades in the late game. It's not a radiant filled composition towards the side of Aquadiz, but they are managing to survive these trades. But Sox is in a very bad position as his immortality is used, but Soy does use the Black Dragon form to engage onto the back line, and Jinx is taken down. Rika does take down the Lord, and they do also manage to get a kill onto Circuit, but Taka's in a very bad position as Rika does get the double kill onto him, and it does look like Agua Diaz will manage to get their first win in this series as they barrel down in the mid lane of Enigma 9. Khan did try to take down a lot of the members of Aqua Diaz, did manage to take down Sox or Soy if I'm not mistaken, but is killed in return. The last insanity was used by Nemesis Prime as I think he is managing to defend well here as the last insanity is also used, but that house clause is coming in clutch for Cahill. So it will be a 2 on. Oh no, Circuit does respawn in time to defend this. So it's unfortunate that Aquadiz didn't manage to end the game there, but they do get that first inhibitor torrent, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the first inhibitor torrent they've gotten the whole series. So congratulations towards them, and we are bearing witness towards a really good game at the moment. So it looks like it's a 50-50 as both teams will, I think, inevitably decide to play a bit more safer, because a kill at this time of the game does matter a lot, and we're seeing a bit of a skirmish here in the mid lane as Nemesis Prime does engage onto the back line, but is not punished for his troubles. But Rika was. Mob does get the kill onto Jinx here. That Valir was a problem for them, but the Niminem Blast is used against Aqua Gears as it was a 3-man ult, if I'm not mistaken, as the side of Enigma 9 implode here onto Aqua Gears, and it was a 3-for-1 trade. It'll be interesting to see if Cahill and Mob can defend this, but it looks likely that this is going to be the last play of the game as the Molina Blitz is used as a mid lane clearance tool, and Taka does focus the base and does take game 3, meaning that Enigma 9 does take the series and do win the Dawning Elite tournament. Congratulations, Enigma 9. They are the first Dawning Elite tournament winners as they managed to get that win in that last play. Congratulations towards the side of Enigma 9. Congratulations. What do you think about that play at the end?
I think Aqua Diaz when a pretty decent position to end that game. I'm not so sure what happened with the wave management and all that stuff. Just that only Nemesis Prime was left alive there. They could have at least forced to end the game. It's just that I saw he was building full tank at some point, but he even sold his boots. He didn't have boots. It was just full tank. So I think Nemesis Prime did a pretty good job of holding his fort there. But I think Aqua Diaz could have tried something there. The Nana carelessly died at the end there, but he got MVP. Yeah, I'm still not convinced about the Nana pick, but he got MVP. He did pretty well for his team, so props to them. But I think, yeah, both teams were pretty good in the series. I just think that, it was a pretty good game from both sides.
Yes, it was a pretty good game, and congratulations towards the side of Enigma 9. I'll also like to thank Aqua Diaz for their participation and making it into the final. Congratulations to them as we take a moment to applaud their contribution. But our Dawning Elite champions is Enigma 9, and as you said, Nemesis Prime came in clutch with that base defense there at the end. And congratulations towards them. A bit lost for words at the moment, and I didn't necessarily think that would play out the way it did. But congratulations also, or rather, shout out towards Circuit in that last play with the Numinum Blast coming in clutch, managing to get 4, if not 3, if not 4 members to the side of Aquadiz that did manage to turn the tide. So, yes. And also congratulations to anybody that, managed, or anybody that suggested that Enigma 9 would get the 3-0 win here. So what are your last comments? Because these are the last comments of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So what are your last comments?
My last comments is thank you for all the teams that participated. We're definitely going to bring things up. I think around March we'll do another Donning Elite tournament. But yeah, pretty good games from both teams here. I think they both put up a good fight and a good show. I think Aquadiz, they had their own there. They could have done something. Just think it all came down to drafting at some point. I mean, they had a lot of good picks for the early game, but they weren't pretty sustainable for the late game. But both teams did pretty well, and I wish them all the best.
Yes, we wish them all the best. Again, thank you to all the viewers for watching and supporting the channel and supporting the tournament. It had a bit of a humble beginning, but we did manage to make it exciting, and we did manage to make it here. So congratulations to you guys. Congratulations to anybody who managed to watch all the matches as well. My name is Ari, and I was a caster during this tournament. So also Void as well. So I'm trying to give a shout out to everybody that was included. Doof, do you also have something to say?
Hello everyone. I want to start off by saying congratulations to Enigma 15, as they're called now, for winning the Dawning Elite tournament. Now, I do have 2 announcements to make. The first one will be that we are going to be starting a sort of boot camp type of thing done by Equilibrium Esports. So this is primarily for fresh teams, new squads that have less skilled players and want to improve, want to do more 5-mans. You can just DM me on Discord. You can, if you have Nigel on WhatsApp, if you have me on WhatsApp, you can DM us that you want to participate. And what we're going to basically do is get you guys onto the Discord server, where we can arrange 5-man scrims in custom, and when available we will have an experienced player to just watch over these scrims and take down notes for you guys on how to improve. So that's what we're going to implement in the coming weeks. So we'll like to get started as fast as possible. So all fresh squads, new squads that want to participate, please do go ahead and contact Nigel or contact me and put your names through. And the second announcement is basically what I'm going to show you now on screen, which is this. So we're going to be hosting a Nigerian tournament, Enter the Equilibrium Nigeria Season 1, done by Equilibrium Esports, which will be held in Nigerian server. The details for this will be released later, and the prize pool, the run times, when we're going to start and when we're going to end, are going to be announced on the Discord server. So please join the Discord server. If I'm not mistaken, you can find it on the channel description. Join through, come check us out, and wait for that announcement. And yeah, for the South African players, we would like to have your support in watching these games. Remember that the entire of Africa, with regards to MLBB, we are pretty much in the same boat, where we don't have much attention in our respective servers. We're trying to get more attention. We're doing the best that we possibly can, just so that we can get bigger servers, better ping and whatnot. And yeah, so yeah, that's about it from my side. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes. Thank you to everyone that you know, supported us throughout the entirety of the tournament. I do know there was a bit of a confusion in terms of communication early on, but we did manage to pull through and manage to, bring you guys this tournament. And it has been a pleasure working with you guys. I'm really grateful for you guys' support and engagement. And yeah, this is me signing out. Thank you guys so much. God bless.